chest bump? I've been sort of practicing.
No, I don't think we should do this here.
Not today.
Which one do I push to go forward? This one?
I've been working out for that moment. Yeah, that one right there.
Oh, God. I have to say, when I saw the role models list, right, Michael, we call ours role models, I just thought, please don't put me after Amy. Please don't put me after Amy. Don't put me after Amy. So, Michael, when we met, I thought that I was gracious and polite to you, but obviously I did something that deeply insulted you, because every week you bring me up here and you fuck me. You always find the most inspiring speaker, and then you put me after, and I put dance photos. Thank you. So Michael has continued to invite me here, and I always appreciate it for many reasons, but I think primarily because I get to get up here monthly and tell all of you how great I am, and then that reinforces that feeling about myself in my own mind. So, Michael, thank you for the free therapy. Now that it's bi-monthly, I'm fucked, obviously. You've saved me so much money in therapy that you can stop paying me the $1,000 per speaking engagement that you've been giving me. The hashtag was never stop, and I think the reason I have never stop is because I think that those two words perfectly describe any successful person, the willingness to push through failure towards success. And I'm going to talk a little bit about failure today. So I came up with an idea for a photography project many years ago, and I thought of it as Dancers Among Us, dancers in everyday situations around the country, or specifically I was shooting it around New York City at the time. And do we do this? That's me? Okay, so I came up with this idea, and then it suddenly exploded creatively, and I had these moments of inspiration on and on again, where I would find dancers and I put them in everyday situations to show the beauty of the everyday. It was really, really going well. But then I hit a rut. When you have an idea and you're in the honeymoon period and you think you're great, and then you realize suddenly maybe you're not so great. And you have a hard time recreating that feeling over and over again. And that's what happened to me. Now, I'm going to introduce you to a man named Lloyd Knight. Lloyd Knight is with the Martha Graham Dance Company. He is one of the most celebrated dancers in one of the most celebrated companies in the world. And in the middle of my rut, I got to photograph him. Here we are at Columbia University, right before we're going to start shooting. But this is what Lloyd really looks like. Okay. He is gorgeous. He is the exception. And in the midst of my funk, I thought, well, I've got Lloyd Knight. I am going to kill it with Lloyd Knight. The way I work is always very improvisational, and I just get out there and I try to figure something out. So I said, let's meet at Columbia University. We're going to just create some amazing images. And I took this perfection in dance, and with him I did this. Now that sucks. And I know it sucks, and I knew it sucked when I was shooting it, but I did it for 2 fucking hours trying to make it good. And it got worse and worse, and I kept doing it, and I realized, okay, I'm just trying to jam a square peg into a round hole here, and it's not working, so I've got to come up with a new plan. But now I'm panicking because I'm already in a rut. So I said, well, you know what? Hey, what about movement of dance? Like, I should capture movement. And that sucks worse. So now I was really falling apart because I was sucking, and I had the greatest dancer I had ever photographed, and I didn't know what to do, and it's winter, and it's cold, and he had been, photographed by the greatest dance photographers, and it was just a disaster, and I'm sweating even though it's 20 degrees. And eventually I saw the library, and I thought, oh, well, we'll do something there. You're reading, of course, so I did this. It sucks a little less, but it's not any good. So I was like, another 2 hours of this. Eventually, where he completely you just laughed at my photograph. Like an audible, that sucks so bad. That was the best of the shoot. This isn't going to end with some awesome photograph from where I pushed through. No, I fell apart. And as I left, it got cold, it got dark, there was nothing, and I left. Now, thank you. Thank you for feeling my pain. Now, here is that moment, right? That moment where we give up, where you go into from your honeymoon, you go into the disaster mode, and then you just think, well, that could have been good, but it wasn't. And so this is where I went. I went into such a funk after this shoot that I just, I started thinking about all the things that I could have been doing with my day instead of that, right? And how I had completely wasted my day away. I got home, my daughter had been sick. She was now asleep. I hadn't been there for that. There was 20 things on my list that I could have done that I didn't do. And I just got into such a terrible funk about that. And I think that this is that moment where when you have a really cool idea and you feel inspired by something, and then it doesn't work out for a while, and then you just figure, I guess it's not meant to work out. And I had so many of those experiences in my life, and there are so many unwritten movie scripts or half-written movie scripts when I was an actor that I was like, I'm going to create something, and then I just gave up. But for some reason, for this one, and I wish I could say why, I didn't. I did not give up on that. And then months later, I got a chance to photograph Lloyd again for a photograph that ended up in a book that ended up doing well enough to give me the opportunity to photograph another book. And then I got to really photograph Lloyd in all his glory. And then that created another book. And all of those opportunities are wonderful and exciting, and I'm very fortunate to have had them. But I wouldn't have had any of them if I had stopped when I took photos like this. So my lasting and final statement to you is, never stop. That's all. Thank you very much. By the way, he only gives me 5 fucking minutes, or else I would have been there up all night. It's not like I don't have more to say.
And he would be up here all night.
I would be up here.
We should, you know what? In between the shows, we have every other month. The one in between, we could just do you.
Sure, nobody will be here.
I was going to say,
I'll be here. And you'll be here.
Can we drink enough for...
Yeah, it's just the two of us, and I'll talk about myself all night long.
We'll play videos, we'll talk, we'll
It'll
rip.
be beautiful. One more chest pound? No, put your arms down. That's all. It's a manly thing.
I always feel more manly around you, Jordan. Always. Jordan Matter!
By the way, one thing. I don't know if you've noticed this discrepancy, but I'm starting to notice a pattern now. Do you notice how everybody else gets a graphic with their Instagram tag and their Facebook tag and everything, and I come up and it's a blank screen? There is obviously a hostility here. Right? I just want to acknowledge that. Whoops. Anyway,
ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know where the mic's supposed to be. Every speaker is moved.